A Woman of Substance is the title of the rags to riches novel that launched the spectacularly successful career of Barbara Taylor Bradford. 30 years later, she's still going strong and still producing her trademark bestsellers. This morning, Rita Braver has the fine print.
That big shopping bag, toted into New York's historic Flatiron building, is not filled with money. But it might just as well be.
Hello, Sally, I'm here. And it's very heavy.
It's a manuscript delivered personally by Barbara Taylor Bradford, one of her trademark tales about a smart, sexy, and successful woman.
And that's
Time
my
flies.
25th book.
And 24 bestsellers. 25 to be.
At 76, she's a writer with the Midas touch. 82 million books sold in 90 different countries. So it's no wonder that Breaking the Rules, coming out this week, is cause for celebration at her publisher, St. Martin's Press.
What's it like for you when you come in now and they're so excited to get your book?
Well, I'm happy that they're excited, but I still worry, you know. I'm still, at heart, that worrying author who hopes the book is going to work.
She even frets about details like the book's cover.
I like it that it's a photograph because it has a reality for people. It's not saying, oh, nobody has legs like that. But I do. I'm going to show you my leg. I should have worn a skirt. Look, not a bad leg.
Barbara Taylor Bradford's writing career took off in 1979 with A Woman of Substance, later made into a TV miniseries. It's the story of Emma Hart, a poor but plucky and beautiful Yorkshire servant girl.
I made this here plan, Mum. I think it'll be easier for me to do my chores this way.
Who manages to found a booming business empire.
I'd like to see the buyer in my office in 20 minutes.
Yes, Mrs. Hart.
I gave Emma a lot of my characteristics, which is drive, ambition, discipline, determination, and ambition, ambition, ambition.
A special 30th anniversary edition of A Woman of Substance was just released, complete with a gala in London featuring Bradford buddies like Cherie Blair, wife of the former British Prime Minister, and Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York.
She's like an icon to me because she's achieved so much success through her heart and her soul and her mind.
And she did it all herself, a girl from a middle-class family in Leeds who dreamed of becoming a writer. She started as a typist.
You were a bad typist?
Bad typist? No, I couldn't read my shorthand, and I think part of it was nerves.
At 16, she talked her way into a journalist job, and within a few years was reporting in London. It was there, on a blind date in 1961, that she met Bob Bradford, a German-born film producer from California.
She says it was pretty much love at first sight. Was it love at first sight for you?
Immediately. I really mean it. It's hard to explain. She sat there in a sweater. She was a little plump.
Thanks a
I
lot.
like the whole thing of her, you know. Something just hit me.
A little plump.
Yeah, I mean, she was a little young woman, you know. And for me, it was amazing.
They married, and she followed him to the U.S., where she wrote a column and several books on interior design, a talent still on display in their sprawling Manhattan apartment.
Come into this room, which
This
we
is the
actually
blue
call
room.
the blue room. It's the only room with a name.
There's the red dining room.
If you stand there, you can see the 59th Street Bridge.
And you really work on this?
I write all my books on it.
And her office.
Do you have to drag yourself in here every day and say,
Yeah.
I've got to get this written?
If I'd had to do it, I'd drag myself in and feel, oh God, I can't face it. I'd stop. I love coming in here. It's an adventure.
an adventure that didn't really begin until she was in her 40s. She'd started and abandoned 4 novels before she got the idea for A Woman of Substance. She sent an outline of the book to an agent in London.
He called me up when he'd read it and he said, "You know, Barbara, I think you've written an outline for a bestseller."
And so it began. With 24 best-selling books, she's now one of the wealthiest authors in the world. Many works turned into television dramas, most produced by her husband. There is one constant in all of Barbara Taylor Bradford's books. Your heroines are so devastatingly beautiful. The heroes are so handsome. Why do you like to write about people who are so fabulous?
Readers really don't want to read about ugly people, Rita. They want to read about a good-looking man and a good-looking woman making it together in many ways. Not necessarily just sexually, but in life. Oh, little Bee-Gee.
In fact, she and Bob Bradford and their 2 Bichon Frise dogs, they don't have any children, have made quite a nice life for themselves.
And here's to you for putting up with me all these years.
She dedicates all her books to him. He gives her a new piece of jewelry each time she completes one.
And isn't it pretty?
There's the parrot from Act of Will, the diamond necklace from the women in his life, and a pair of bracelets for the latest books.
And these bracelets were made famous by Jackie Kennedy.
But perhaps the most important jewel in Barbara Taylor Bradford's collection is this, the Order of the British Empire.
Barbara Mrs. Taylor Bradford.
Presented by Queen Elizabeth in 2007 for Bradford's contributions to English literature.
And then she said, "You've written a lot of books, Mrs. Bradford." I said, "Yes, I have, Your Majesty." And many of them set in England and some of them about English history. And she said, "Oh, well, that certainly gives you a lot of opportunities."
Opportunities that this author has known how to take advantage of. Do you ever feel like your own life has been like a Barbara Taylor Bradford story?
No, but everybody else does.